Hi everyone, this video is going to look at 12 mark questions. The 12 mark questions, we expect one in paper 1 and one in paper 2. It's at the very end of the AQA business exams. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So this is the first example. We're told that Thorntons want to increase their sales, and there are two options by which they're considering doing this: either introducing job production or offering more franchising. We then need to analyse the effect of each of these two options on Thornton sales and evaluate which of the two options will have the biggest impact on Thornton sales. Okay, so that's one question. That was taken from paper 1 2019. This is paper 2 2019. And in this question, we're told that HelloFresh is hoping to make a net profit in the next 12 months. Again, two options: cutting costs or increasing spending on marketing. We need to analyse the effect of each option on HelloFresh's net profit and then evaluate which of the two options is going to have the biggest impact on net profit. So, two very similar questions. The companies want to do something, either increase sales or make a net profit. We're given two options and we need to analyse how each option will affect what it is they're trying to do, either sales or profit. And the evaluation, the conclusion, will say which one is going to have the biggest impact on achieving that objective. So they were the 2019 ones. AQA were a bit cruel the following year. This is one of the 12 mark questions from there, and it's a bit more complex. So we're told in this case the company wants to reduce costs, and again they're considering two options, but, and this is important, both options will result in exactly the same cost savings for the business, and we're told they want to use delayering to reduce costs or reducing 1 week of training. Now, both options are going to result in exactly the same cost savings. So what are we told to do now? We're told to analyse the effect of each of the two options. So how will delayering affect the company? How will reducing 1 week of training affect the company? All right, so that's slightly different. And then we need to evaluate which of the two options has the biggest long-term impact. So it's a different question. You're not expected to evaluate the effect on costs, as this will be the same. All right, so it's very important to read the question very thoroughly. The same structure can be used, but there is, the wording's different in this case. I think that these two questions here are somewhat easier than that one, but the questions will be fine if you read the question clearly and just answer it. Now, I'm going to explain the structure that I recommend, but it is simply that. It's a recommendation. AQA do not have a single structure that they want you to follow. All right, you can answer the question in any way you see fit. So how would I do that? Okay, so let's just take this example. So the HelloFresh question, you've got two options. Your first paragraph, we're told what to do. Look, in the question, we need to analyse how each affect HelloFresh's net profit. So the first paragraph is going to be cutting costs and how cutting costs is going to help HelloFresh increase their net profit. That's what they're trying to do. The second paragraph is going to focus on how increasing spending on marketing might do the same thing, how it could affect their net profit. That's how I would go about doing those first two paragraphs. And then the evaluation is going to be whichever one you think is better and why. All right. In the case of this one, all right, I would look at the positive effects of delayering. So the positive effects of delayering in the first paragraph, the positive effects of 1 week training in the second paragraph, and then my final paragraph is which one of those is going to have the biggest long-term impact on the company. Now, so essentially what have I done there? My first paragraph is going to be on option 1, and basically the advantages of doing that for the net profit or the positive effects on JCC shoes. Now, this is where I'm advising, and you can do cons as well. The reason I don't suggest that you do cons in this part of the essay is twofold. Number one, you might run out of time. Okay, to do pros and cons in depth for both options is going to be very tight on time, and essentially it doesn't gain you any extra marks. You're just showing the same skills of analysis and evaluation. So I would just focus on the pros of each one. So number one, you're not going to have time to do both. Number two, you can save the disadvantages for your conclusion. All right. And you can say that you recommend option one because it's going to be really great for achieving this objective. And you're going to reject option two because it has this massive disadvantage. All right. So it allows you to say something new in the conclusion. The key thing I would say about the conclusion is that you should mention both options. All right. So your conclusion should say, option one will have the biggest impact because, which is a bigger impact than option two for this reason. I don't recommend option two, because it's less of an impact because of this disadvantage. So, in summary, you're going to need to use key terms accurately. You need to absolutely make reference to the case study. We didn't look at any of the case studies there, but it is a case study based exam. That's what you need to do. You need to explain in those analytical paragraphs the causes, effects. That's how you show analysis that are relevant to the question. And you're going to have a focused conclusion. You're going to clearly state one option over the other, and you support that using specific evidence from the case study. So if you do that, I think you'll get in the top band.